Have you ever had something that happened and it's just completely thrown off your week? That's me. And you guys are probably going to judge me and think that I'm absolutely insane for this very slight thing to throw off a lot of my week. But it has. So I go to the grocery stores every Monday morning. Every Monday morning I go, I pick up snacks for the kids, my lunches for the week. I stock up my fridge. I don't like to think about what in the world I'm gonna eat every single day. So I eat the exact same thing all the time. And so now it's become a part of my routine. This probably it's been about a week and a half, I would say, my grocery store has been out of the thing that I buy every single week this entire year. So, spoiler alert, they have it right now. But I get these every single week. I buy about 3 or 4 of them. My husband will typically bring me lunch once a week because I'm spoiled. And so they haven't had them. I stopped this morning because my students needed snack and I was like, I'm just gonna go and check and see if they have them. And they did. So I bought a bunch. I was so ecstatic. And now I just have to unpack all of my things and stack my fridge back up. Such a good feeling. Seriously. Do you guys do the exact same thing? Either one, do you eat the same thing over and over again? Or two, are you like me and you have to go to the grocery store, you stock up your fridge, you feel good knowing that your fridge has everything that you need so that you can not be cranky or hangry for the entire week. Okay, so I'm gonna unpack all this stuff up now. So let's do a little bit of a haul right now. Like I mentioned, they had my lunches, so I ended up getting 2 of the broccoli and cheddar bake, gluten-free. Yum. They're actually really good, to be honest. And then I ended up getting the kale bake, which is also incredibly delicious. So I got 2 of those. So now I have 4 lunches, 1 for today, 1 for tomorrow, and then 2 for next week. Again, I will go to the grocery store on Monday. Another thing that I like to get are these little fruit bars. So I'm gluten-free. I have to be gluten-free because of my Hashimoto's that I have, which is now turned into hypothyroidism. Woohoo. So the fruit bars are so good. Typically that's my breakfast with a cup of coffee, which is fantastic. And then ended up getting the kids some animal crackers for snacks because I have kids who will not bring snacks. I also got them, because these have been a huge hit, Ritz crackers with cheese. They love these so much. So I bought a few of those because those are always super cheap. And I got dry shampoo, you really care to know that. But one of the other things that I got that I love, salsa picante. The medium sauce, it's fantastic. I love this. With these. These are a great snack together. If you like these little veggie straws, or you get the ones that are the little chips and you dip it in some of this, oh, guys, it's so good. I love it. Okay, time to put this away. I'm gonna make my coffee and I'm gonna see you guys over there by my desk so that we can chat a little bit about what today looks like. So in today's video, I'm keeping things very basic, going back to my roots, and I'm doing just a very simple vlog of today. I come in every morning and I've already turned on all my lights. So you're gonna see up here, I have my lights on and I always have my morning message up and ready. One of the things that I wanna share with you guys that has made my life so unbelievably simple, that I've even trained my students to do this for me, is how to get this stuff to post up. So let's say I'm running late because of a meeting or I have a substitute. They know how to put my morning announcements on because they're all kind of done through the computer. They know how to put my morning message up. It's fantastic. And I sincerely hope that you guys benefit from this too. So let me show you what this is. Okay, so I turned my projector off so that you guys could hear me. But on my computer, one of the things that the students know to do is to go to Chrome. And within Chrome, you have that ability to be able to bookmark some items or add shortcuts is what they call them right on that Google screen. So I already have a bunch of my items with shortcuts. Right here, you're going to notice that it's a morning message and it's a Google slide. So I've already attached that there. Students can just open it up, and I always add the one for the next day to the very top. So I try to do this before I leave so that I have it prepared and ready to go, or I will end up doing it as I'm getting ready at home in front of my computer. But here you're going to notice it's Thursday. They have it up, and then students will just go ahead and hit slideshow. But the other thing that they have in here is that they will have the morning announcements. So I have a morning announcements that goes to YouTube where they will stream live, and then I have the relaxing music that I like to put on. This is one of my favorites. It's like the Hogwarts classroom, but it's amazing. I will post it up in my classroom, and this is typically what I play. If I don't have some form of a music, it always seems super boring and quiet, and it drives me crazy. But there's a ton of them. Like, you can do Narnia, there's like snow, and so I try to go with different themes. Typically this is like my generic go-to that I will use. But this has saved my life. Like, it's so easy, so simple, and it's nice to just be able to have everything posted ready to go in the morning so I don't have to think about it later. As I'm recording this, it is a Thursday. And on Thursdays, this is typically on a Tuesday and a Thursday, is when we have something that we call win time in the morning. Normally, in the past, we have always done a morning meeting every single morning. This is basically where students will greet, they will share something, we will have some form of a community building activity. This year, because our schedule is very, very tight, we don't have like an extra like buffer time, which is what we've always used for for our kids. And so we noticed that at the beginning of the year, when we were just doing morning meeting every single day, like, students were falling behind in certain things. They weren't having opportunities to be able to meet with teachers. Kids who were getting pulled needed extra time to be able to come to us to talk about lessons, but we couldn't find that time because there's no time in our schedule this year. So we kind of told ourselves, let's just make it to where Tuesdays and Thursdays we have win time versus morning meeting. So this morning we'll still kind of talk to each other, we'll greet each other, but we won't do the whole shebang. And so students will use this morning as a what I need or win time. During this win time, students are going to teachers, meeting with teachers if they have to. They are working on unfinished assignments. They are working on areas that they want to be able to grow in. So any sort of goals that they might have, they're trying to, either work through IXL or using some other resources to kind of help them with achieving that goal. So one of the things that we do is I have to go into Schoology and check my students' assignments. And the way that I do that is I keep a binder like this that will allow me to track my kids and see which ones have submitted what. As much as I would love to just be able to use the gradebook to do that, it is slow and it drives me bonkers. So I choose not to use that, and instead I keep like a checklist, which I'm going to show you in a second. But I have to go through, I'm going to look at the assignments that were submitted from yesterday, check some of those off, and then I will start to create little reminders for students using just quick sticky notes because they're all in different rooms. I will do some quick reminders for what students need to get certain things submitted to me. So let me show you what my checklist looks like. So this is something that I've created inside of Google Sheets. So this is where you can have like the spreadsheet within Google Drive. It's very, very basic. I have students' names that are on the left-hand side, and then all of these are blank. I don't pre-fill the assignment for each of my lessons. I just felt like that was overwhelming. So this is a Unit 3 lesson tracker. And so what I do is as I create my lessons, I will write them in. So here you can see this is lesson 1.1, the lottery vocabulary. We have the monkey's paw theme. We go into symbolism. So you're gonna notice a couple of things. One, I have these little boxes, which is something that you can add within Google Sheets. And then 2, I will mark some off with little X's, and then some of these are highlighted. You're gonna notice that this one was submitted yesterday, so I'm gonna go through and double check that this morning. But then students who did not submit something on time, because it's really easy within Schoology to note like which kids have not submitted yet, what I do is I just go quickly and I will highlight them first, and then I will go back and add some of my X's here once I've graded it. So once I've graded it, I will add my X. The highlight means that they haven't submitted it yet. And then once I put an X over it, that means they did submit it, they turned it in late, and I have already graded it. So it's a pretty easy system. It's something that I did have to kind of train myself to do because I think I struggled last year when I first started doing this. I wasn't keeping up with it very well. This year I have a pretty good routine down. So I will just continue to add and then check them off as we go. But what's nice is that then I'm able to just look and say, oh, this student, why did they miss so much? Well, it's because they were absent. So there was a lot of things kind of happening over here. And then I can quickly meet with some of those kiddos to make sure that they get that stuff submitted. So very simple. I do that for all my lessons. You're going to see like there's a bunch of papers back here. And that's where I keep them all. And again, it's a nice little routine that I have. So this morning I'm going to spend a little bit of time with Schoology, updating some of the grades and also my lesson tracker. And then right after my win time, we have block 1. And so block 1, I have my 5th graders in ELA. We are doing a practice review of plot because quite a few kiddos don't remember plot or the plot elements. And in 5th grade, we really need to start having a really good understanding of plot in general in order to summarize effectively. So I'm spending a little bit of time, we're going a little bit slower, breaking this down, and we're doing a plot practice together because we can't do that. If we can't do plot, then we can't do the summarizing activity, which is even more challenging in a sense. So that is what I'm gonna do for that. And then I have lunch right after that, or my brunch is what I like to call it. And I am so stoked to be able to eat my macaroni. Very, very excited about that. So I'm gonna do that, and then I will update you guys a little bit later. So I know that 1, it's probably a little bit loud because my projector is on at the moment. And 2, it's dark because I turn the lights off when I'm working. I just love the relaxing feel of it. But I wanted to share something with you guys really quick. So about, last year, towards the very end of the year, we had a teacher that worked across the hall from us, and she got a job as an assistant principal in our district. We are very proud of her. I miss her because she was right across the hall from me. So when you have hall buddies and then they move, it's always really, really sad. But one of the things that she gave me was this little stand here. Guys, I love it. So one of the things that I've been doing is I have like a little reference clipboard that has all of my blocks, my student lists, and then it also has their seating charts. The other thing that I love about it is that my students have now gotten trained because we have several kids who are on, some form of a behavior card, which I know that this is a very common practice across many, many schools. But they will come and they will place their behavior cards right here for me. And so I know at the very end of every single class, I come over here to say goodbye to everyone, and I will fill out their behavior cards, and I always have just like a pen or something here to be able to write on. I love this setup, and if this is something that I know for me in the past, I really, really struggled with remembering to do behavior cards. It was not my strong suit at all. But having a common place for them to place their behavior cards is really, really helpful. So if you have somewhere in your room, whether it's by your door or it's by your desk, wherever it is that you are going to be when your students are leaving, you need to find a spot for them to place those items there and train them to do that. Because now that my students do that, I don't miss a single day, which is fantastic and really important. So I wanted to share that with you. And now I'm gonna make my coffee and get started on the work that I told you guys earlier. Okay, so it's officially lunchtime. My morning went great. Students got some of the work assignments that they needed to get done submitted, so I talked with those kiddos. And then I had a good chunk of my kids who were working on our content lesson, which is gonna be due tomorrow afternoon. It's a half day, so we have like an alternate schedule. They're gonna have a bigger chunk of time. And I wanna share what that looks like, what we're doing for content, because it's super fun. But first, for my first block, I mentioned that we were kind of doing a practice on plot. And so if you're new to my channel and you are not really sure how things are kind of happening inside of my classroom, each of my students has their own iPad that's been provided to them by the district. And so it's really nice because we use Notability, and the students will just kind of do everything on their iPads. So I gave them an organizer, which is our plot organizer. And we went through an entire story together and we identified all of those elements. Another really fun part that I try to do with it is to incorporate a little bit of movement to help them remember the elements of plot. So my students will learn that this is exposition, we have inciting incident, rising action, climax, falling action, resolution. So we talk about all the elements that are in there. They did a phenomenal job. So this will help us when we start to go and do summarizing next week, because the kids have to use plot to help them build their summaries. So that went well. Now I am about to get ready to eat my lunch, which it's the macaroni, so excited. And then we have content. In content, we're doing something that you guys are probably gonna think is insane, but we're learning about plants now. So we've been doing food chains and food webs, and then we started looking a little bit deeper into each of the different pieces. So decomposers, producers, and consumers. So we're still currently in producers, and the reason why we do this now is because in the spring, we will go to something called JA BizTown, which is our economics piece, and then the students will also work to do a garden inside of our school. So we try to build all of this knowledge early so that we don't have to stress about it later on during the springtime. So they'll have this as their prior knowledge in the spring, if that makes sense. So we're working with producers, we're working with the life cycle of a plant, and because we have iPads, we also have lots of really fun applications that our district provides to us, and one of them is stop motion. So the kids are gonna do a stop motion, and I wanna show you an example of one that I found on YouTube that my students are using kind of as a basis to understand how theirs should end up looking like at the very end of it. So within our LMS, we add in different videos, different discussion questions, and all the things. So we had some practice with stop motion. We got to make some simple stop motions earlier. And this is the plant life cycle stop motion, but it's really, really sweet because the kids have a very good idea of what it should end up looking like by the very end of it. So we talked about each of the elements and how, what are the things that you need to have cut out in order to make this happen. And the students at this point are starting to create all of these different little pieces to help them craft this stop motion for the plant, of the life cycle of a plant. It's very, very cute. So what they've been doing is they've been taking paper, they've been cutting things out, creating all of their little pieces. I gave them an envelope to put their name on so that they can store all of their items inside of it. And then I just give them a bucket like this. I have 2 of these that are inside of my classroom that they will use to pull out scratch paper. So we save as much of the paper as possible so that we're not being wasteful. And I will actually keep these in my classroom so that when we have another project, we can just pull these out and use them. So that's what we've been doing. The kids are gonna have to finish all of their cutouts. We've been working on this. This is the 2nd day now, but they're gonna have to finish their cutouts today because tomorrow, during that longer chunk of time, they're going to be recording their stop motions. I seriously can't wait. It's gonna be so flipping adorable. The kids are super excited about it. You know those moments when it's like really quiet and they're all working, and it's because they're engaged and they're excited about what they're doing, and it's always a good feeling as a teacher. So I am now going to sign off. We're gonna do that, and then I kind of have like my long chunk in the day at this point. So I will have block 2, which is my 6th graders, and I'll share a little bit more about what we did with them so that you guys can see their group activity. So I have a really fun, very easy group activity that you can do with your students, but also that kind of builds the engagement, but it also helps you understand what it is that they know. So I'll share that a little bit later on. So I'm gonna go eat now, and I will catch you guys in the afternoon. So I am enjoying my lunch, and I figured I would show you guys. I know this probably does not look the tastiest ever, but it's delicious. This is the kale one. Oh my gosh, so good. So good. There it is, Amy's bowl kale something. And then I have my little straws with my picante sauce. And then I always have something sweet, thanks to my mom. So I have my Chobani Greek yogurt, which I love. And that's my lunch. So I'm just gonna sit here, eat this, and the kids should be showing up in about 10 or 15 minutes. So we have special at the very end of the day, and I am so thankful for that special, because it always seems like I get so exhausted at the very end of the day. There is just no energy left in me. So it is now the end of the day, and I wanted to share with you guys how my students did in their 6th grade ELA block. So one of the things I talk a lot about is using graphic organizers as anchor charts. And you can do this through a very simple trick with Adobe. So it's the free version of Adobe. You don't have to have some like fancy paid version. But it's Adobe Acrobat, and within there, when you go to the print settings, you can click on poster, and then from there you can adjust the size. I normally will do about 180%. That allows me to be able to print on 4 pages, and then this will print out, and I kind of tape it all together to make it into an anchor chart. So this is what the anchor chart looked like. We were working and practicing with plot as a review. So students were basically paired into a group of 4 learners. And within this group, they had to take a story called The Monkey's Paw that we were reading together, and they had to determine the parts of plot. So I wanted them to fill everything out, from the exposition to the types of conflict to all of the different parts of the rising action. We have like the climax over here, the climax, falling action, and also resolution and theme. And so students had to work together as an entire group to determine that. So this was one group. The next one is posted over here in my classroom. And then I have another one that's over here. And so what's gonna happen is at next week, we're going to basically review these by walking around the room in a gallery style. And then students are then gonna be able to begin working on their summarizing paragraphs. They were highly engaged. It is my favorite types of lessons, because what I do is I'm pretty much the person that's kind of walking around, asking those guiding questions, ensuring that they're on the right track, getting them to think a little bit more deeply as they're having conversations with their peers. And they really enjoyed it. So we did that today, and then they read, independently read for the rest of the time. And that was really about it. Students are all pretty much done. I think I have like 2 kiddos who were not done cutting out all of their parts for the life cycle stop motion that we're gonna be doing tomorrow. But other than that, I feel really good. So this is now my time to clean up my mess. I will normally change my date. I will, erase my board, get everything ready to go so that I can head out ASAP. But I'm gonna be taking you guys along with me this afternoon because, if you did not know, I think it was back in the beginning of November, I actually went and got some tattoos. I had been wanting a second tattoo for the longest time, and I just went and finally did it. So this is one of them. You can see it here. So the Roman numerals for years, very special years in my life. So 2 of the years represent the years that my boys were born, and then one of them was when I met my husband. So very special years. I got those done, and it looks great. It looks phenomenal. But one of the ones that I did kind of spontaneously while I was there is I asked him to do a cross on my finger. So you can see that. But unfortunately, the cross, you can see part of it started to fall out. I did not have it wrapped as well. I probably should have been taking care of it a little bit better than what I did. with like covering it up when I'm washing my hands so it's not like soaking in water too much when I'm bathing, that kind of thing. So I'm gonna go get it redone today. So I have that appointment. I'm gonna take you guys along with me, show you what it looks like at the very end, and yeah, head home and eat dinner and do it all over again the next day, minus the tattoo part. But I will see you guys in a little bit once we get to the tattoo shop. So I'm here at the tattoo place where I got these tattoos. I wanted to show you guys one more time like this. Let me see if I can get it. This is what it looks like now. Hopefully I'll be able to do a little recording when I get in. But I have a couple of minutes and I wanted to share something that I was thinking about as I was cleaning up my room. I'm just curious because we're down to now 8 school days left before break. And I'm curious how normal you try to keep it for your class before break. I pretty much stay normal the entire time. I don't try to do too many like crazy fun activities. I will probably do it like the day before or maybe 2 days, but I feel like if I try to do any more than that, I think my kids get a little bit too crazy and it's like I need to be able to kind of contain it in some ways. So I've been doing all normal stuff. I haven't been doing theme items. We've been sticking to just kind of the basic curriculum that we've been getting through. The plan is that we'll do everything normal next week because that's our last full week. And then I teach Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So that's the 22nd is the last day. So we have 3 days the next week. And I just want to, you know, maybe do one day normal and then maybe the last 2 days we might do some fun stuff. But other than that, I kind of stay boring and basic. But I'm curious if you guys do the same thing. Like, how long do you try to keep the normal happening in your classrooms? Or did you just say, like, everything's getting thrown out the window, let's do fun stuff for like the next 3 weeks? I'm just curious. I have no hate towards teachers who do that. It's just that is kind of the way that I've done things. And I just want to know how you guys do it as well. Okay, so it is now time for me to go in, get this, and then see how it comes out. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that they'll let me do a little recording in there. All done. There it is. Oh, it's catching my face. There it is. Looks so much better. It's starting to sting a little, but it doesn't hurt. Like a lot of people always ask me, does it hurt like in the process of doing it? No, it doesn't really hurt, but it does when you have it on your finger, it does sting. Now, I will tell anybody who's out there trying to think about getting like a finger tattoo, one of the problems is that they are very, very hard to heal. So my guy keeps telling me that. He's like, if it falls out again, let me know. We can try it again, see what happens. Super nice, but I'll try to wrap it up and baby it a little bit more so that way, hopefully, it sticks a little bit better this time. But I love it. I love the spot. I love what it is. Oh, it's amazing. Okay, guys, I am now going to try that again. Okay, so guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this vlog right here. Thank you all so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed following me around for the day. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up, like the videos, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you all in the next time. Bye, everyone.